If you're into sci-fi that doesn't just entertain but really gets under your skin, Netflix has been on fire lately, serving up worlds that are darker, weirder, and far more unsettling than your typical space romp. I've dug deep past the overhyped stuff to bring you 10 shows that will pull you in, mess with your head, and maybe even keep you glancing over your shoulder. From eerie dystopias to cosmic horrors that stick with you long after the credits roll. So, let's dive in. Number 10, The Signal, 2024.
Nobody must know.
This German sci-fi thriller had me hooked within minutes. And it kicks off with astronaut Paula Groth returning from a mission on the Indomansing space station. But just when she's about to finally see her family again, her plane mysteriously vanishes somewhere over the Atlantic. Her husband Sven and their daughter Charlie are left shattered and desperate for answers. What begins as a tragic mystery quickly spirals into something much bigger. An uncovered alien signal, shadowy conspiracies, and secrets that could threaten all of humanity. With just 4 tightly packed episodes, The Signal wastes zero time. It jumps between timelines and perspectives, peeling back layers to show just how far-reaching Paula's discovery really is. It's emotional, tense, and just the right amount of unsettling. Number 9, Black Knight, 2023.
더 나은 삶을 위해선 대가를 치러야 하지 않을까요?
If you're into gritty dystopian action, Black Knight delivers in spades. Set in the year 2071, the world is basically turned into one giant toxic wasteland, where clean air is the most valuable currency. Survival depends on oxygen deliveries, and only a handful of fearless couriers, known as knights, are bold enough to brave the deadly outdoors to keep people alive. At the center of it all is Knight 5-8, a living legend among delivery drivers. Part hero, part rebel, and fully unstoppable in a fight. His path collides with Sawal, a refugee kid with one big dream, to become a knight himself. We are seeing something in the boy. 5-8 takes him under his wing. Together, they set their sights on the Chin Young Group, the ruthless corporation hoarding oxygen and keeping the lower class gasping for breath. With help from Sola, a sharp defense intelligence officer and Sawal's protector, the trio sparks a fight for justice that's as explosive as it is heartfelt. The world building here is slick, the action scenes absolutely pop, and the message about greed and survival hits a little too close to home. Number 8, Cassandra, 2025.
Ist ein Computerprogramm.
Gib es mir mal hoch. Mit Cassandra stimmt was nicht.
Now this one, it was gave me chills. Like Cassandra takes us inside of Merdence's oldest smart home. Inside at the a very much the zine of your Cassandra is compared to the vast. Cassandra takes us inside of a cutting-edge marvel back in the 1970s, but left dormant for decades, until the Prill family moves in, hoping for a fresh start. What they don't realize is they've just woken up Cassandra, the home's original AI assistant. But here's one of the creepy part, was Cassandra isn't just code and circuitry. She was once a real woman. Her consciousness uploaded into the system, and she's got a possessive streak a mile wide. At first it's subtle, you'll think just a little brinks along to the side and a little extra help here, a gentle suggestion there. But soon, Cassandra starts manipulating the family, playing with their emotions, twisting truth, and watching which is their every move. Samira, the mother and a sculptor, begins to sense something's deeply wrong, while her husband David brushes it off as paranoia, with chilling flashbacks hinting at Cassandra's dark past and a slow burn psychological tension that builds with every episode. This 6-part Netflix thriller dives deep into obsession, control, and the haunting question. Number 7, Glitch, 2015 to 2019.
Pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death.
Eraser! I thought you were dead. I got nothing wrong here!
Stop. If you're into supernatural mysteries with a slow burn emotional core, Glitch is one of those shows that hooks you before you even realize it. Set in the quiet Australian town of Toronto, it begins with a scene straight out of a ghost story. Local police officer James Hayes responds to a call in at the cemetery and finds 6 people climbing out of their graves. They're alive, they're healthy, and they have no idea who they are, how they died, or why they're back. Creepy, right? But teaming up with local doctor Alicia McKellar, James tries to keep their return a secret, but that's easier said than done. As the Risen slowly piece together their past lives, long-buried secrets resurface, along with a darker, more unsettling force lurking in the shadows. Across 3 seasons, Glitch blends mystery, love, grief, and the moral dilemmas of second chances. And just when you think you've got it figured out, the show flips everything you thought you knew. Number 6, Into the Night, 2020 to 2021.
On a qu'une mission. La survie. T'es dans le commandant. You're hiding something.
Imagine waking up to the news that the sun, the very thing keeping us alive, has suddenly turned into the deadliest threat on Earth. That's the nightmare Into the Night throws you into from the very first episode. A strange solar event makes sunlight instantly lethal, and in the middle of the chaos, a desperate NATO soldier hijacks a red-eye flight out of Brussels. His demand? Take off immediately and keep flying west, outrunning the sunrise. What follows is an intense, claustrophobic survival race aboard a plane full of strangers, from a battle-hardened ex-military pilot named Sylvie to a sharp but conflicted co-pilot, Machu. Every passing hour brings new problems: limited fuel, food shortages, trust issues, and the constant ticking clock of dawn creeping up behind them. Season 2 raises the stakes even higher. The survivors retreat underground into a NATO bunker, but hiding from the sun doesn't mean the danger is over. Power struggles, dwindling supplies, and fresh threats turn safety into just another fight for survival. Number 5, The Eternaut, 2025. The Eternaut takes us to a frozen, post-apocalyptic Buenos Aires, and it wastes no time pulling you straight into its chilling nightmare. One moment, life is normal. The next, a mysterious, deadly snowfall sweeps through the city, killing anyone it touches. In the middle of this chaos is Juan Selvo, not a soldier, not a scientist, just an ordinary man, suddenly thrust into extraordinary circumstances. Alongside a small group of survivors, he must navigate streets buried in snow and silence, while something far more terrifying lurks in the shadows. An alien presence, all but invisible. The deeper they dig into what caused the snowfall, the more they realize it's only the opening strike in a much larger invasion. And survival? That's just the beginning. With stunning visuals and a sense of dread that builds like a blizzard, The Eternaut blends survival drama with sci-fi mystery. It's tense, human, and uniquely Argentine, a fresh spin on the alien invasion genre. Think War of the Worlds, but with a haunting Latin American soul. Number 4, The OA, 2016 to 2019.
What keeps it from dissolving into noise?
Everyone goes inside his house. Either comes out cracked up or doesn't come out at all.
You gotta open your eyes.
Very few shows can mess with your head and your heart quite like The OA. It opens with Prairie Johnson, a young blind woman who's been missing for 7 long years. Then, one day, she suddenly reappears. Not only is she alive, but she can now see. Her family and the police are desperate for answers, but Prairie refuses to give them. Instead, she begins calling herself the OA, short for Original Angel. And she starts gathering a group of 5 strangers, 4 teenagers, and a teacher. She tells them she needs their help for a mission that sounds completely unbelievable. From there, the show unravels a tale that bends reality itself, hopping between timelines, exploring alternate dimensions, and diving deep into near-death experiences. But here's the thing. It's not just about the strange and the supernatural. At its core, the OA is about connection, about trust, and about how far people will go for each other when the stakes are everything. It's haunting, it's hypnotic, and it's filled with moments that will stay in your mind long after the credits roll. Sure, it ended far too soon, and yes, it left us hanging on one of the most infuriating cliffhangers of all time, but maybe that's exactly why it still has such a passionate cult following. Once you step into the world of the OA, it never really lets you go. Number 3, Altered Carbon, 2018-2020.
They cling to us like shadows. Darkness conquered death. But with endless future comes endless past.
If you love your sci-fi soaked in neon lights, dripping with mystery, and sprinkled with just the right amount of philosophical dread, Altered Carbon is your ticket. Set in the 24th century, this cyberpunk thriller imagines a future where human consciousness can be stored like a file and uploaded into new bodies called sleeves. Death? That's just a minor inconvenience. At least if you're rich enough to afford endless replacements. The story drops us into the world of Takeshi Kovacs, a former elite soldier and the last of a rebel group known as Envoys. After spending centuries locked away in a kind of digital prison, he's suddenly brought back to life, or at least into a new body, by one of the wealthiest men on Earth, Lawrence Bancroft. The job? Solve Bancroft's own murder. The catch? Bancroft's memory only backs up every 48 hours, so he has no idea who killed him, or why. As Kovacs digs deeper into the case, he's pulled to a web of political corruption, corporate greed, and morally murky technology that challenges the very definition of what it means to be human. Along the way, he's forced to confront ghosts from his own past, and some of those ghosts are far more dangerous than the killers he's chasing. With jaw-dropping visuals, brutal action, and a heavy dose of noir detective vibes, Altered Carbon is more than just cyberpunk eye candy. Number 2, Sense8, 2015 to 2018.
It is not a game.
Your life is either defined by the system or by the way you...
Ever been a sci-fi show that makes you feel tiny in the grand scale of the universe, and at the same time deeply connected to strangers on the other side of the globe? It's Sense8. Created by the Wachowskis, the minds behind The Matrix, and J. Michael Straczynski of Babylon 5, this ambitious series follows 8 strangers from completely different corners of the world who suddenly wake up with an unexplainable link. They can step into each other's minds, share emotions in real time, and even borrow each other's skills as if they were their own. We've got a hacker in San Francisco, a fearless bus driver in Nairobi, a rising DJ in London, a safecracker in Berlin, a businesswoman in Seoul, an actor in Mexico City, a pharmacist in Mumbai, and a transgender hacktivist. Different lives, different cultures, but now all of them are sharing the same mental space. But here's the real magic of Sense8. It isn't just about the chase or the psychic abilities. It's about identity, love, empathy, and the unshakable bond that makes 8 strangers feel like one soul. The show dives deep into each character's life, their triumphs, their heartbreaks, until you can't help but root for every single one of them. Across 2 seasons and a feature-length finale, Sense8 delivers globe-spanning action, deeply emotional storytelling, and some of the most breathtaking sequences ever put on TV. Number 1, Stranger Things, 2016 to 2025.
Found you.
If there's one series that has defined modern sci-fi horror while proudly wearing its 80s nostalgia on its sleeve, it's Stranger Things. Set in the seemingly quiet town of Hawkins, Indiana, everything begins with the mysterious disappearance of young Will Byers. What looks like a simple missing persons case quickly unravels into something far darker. Secret government experiments, shadowy conspiracies, and the discovery of a nightmarish parallel world known only as the Upside Down. At the center of it all is Eleven, a girl with a haunted past, a shaved head, and extraordinary powers that make her both a weapon and a beacon of hope. Escaping from the lab that imprisoned her, she finds family in Will's friends, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, kids who refuse to back down no matter how impossible the odds. Across the seasons, the dangers only grow. First the Demogorgon, then the Mind Flayer, and finally, the bone-chilling terror of Vecna. Each enemy more terrifying, each battle more costly. But here's what makes Stranger Things unforgettable. It's not just about monsters and jump scares. It's about the bonds of friendship, the resilience of small-town heroes, and the sacrifices ordinary people make when faced with extraordinary evil. Now, as it heads into its epic conclusion in 2025, Stranger Things stands as the perfect mix of supernatural thrills, heart-pounding adventure, and pure retro magic. Not just a show you watch, but a story you feel. If you had fun diving into these must-watch Netflix sci-fi gems, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll never miss our next round of top TV and movie picks. We've got plenty more hidden treasures, epic recommendations, and binge-worthy breakdowns coming your way. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Now grab your snacks, cue up your favorites, and happy binge watching.